Nigeria ICT sector can be described as quite theater-like, and some incubation hubs have been shut down. Some startups were shut down, some got grants, some were quite successful, and some were listed. What would you say 2017 is for VDT and the Nigeria ICT sector?
Like you said, 2017 is a mixed pot of activities. You have some downs, you have some ups, but if you say I should say it in general, it was more of a preparatory time to 2018. So yes, it wasn't as bad as 2016, wherein the foreign exchange, we didn't know where it's going, but in 2017 there seems to be a bit of stability. Knowing fully well that in this space, most of the things that we use to transmit signals to our customers are actually imported. So we depended heavily on FX, and in 2016 that was highly volatile. So in 2017, I would say yes, it was a lot more managed than in 2016. So to that extent, I would say things were actually better than the previous year, and we are hoping that the stability in terms of FX will continue into this 2018. So now once we are able to have stability, then prediction becomes a lot easier. So in 2018 we are believing and projecting to the future that then we can actually start planning for growth. So that is what we want to do in 2018.
One of the essential tools for ICT development known in many countries is broadband, is the center of it all. How would you say VDT has impacted ICT development in Nigeria with contribution of your expertise in the space and the technology?
Most businesses actually want to actually go digital. I was at a place one time and I started hearing a new definition of analog and digital. So most businesses want to go digital, and for you to aspire to go digital, then you need broadband. You need to be on the broadband platform to be able to transform yourself. And because again, what you see is that it's on that digital platform that consumers want to actually buy your service. The efficiencies of that platform is no more something to be proven. It's something that everybody is aware of. So now, for VDT, I would say we are fortunate to be in this space and at this time. And so in contributing our own quota is about making sure that we are able to provide easy access to numerous customers. Like I mentioned earlier, we actually had been a known player, very well known player in the enterprise space. So the new space now where we need to actually make our impact to be felt is going to be in the smaller businesses, medium-sized businesses, so that they also can actually experience the dividend of digitalization through the enablement of broadband platform.
What is your outlook for Nigeria for 2018 and also especially NCC broadband vision of 2020? How would you say VDT will contribute their own quota to make this achievable for the Commission?
Our outlook for 2018 is that of trying to expand our services. Currently, we actually have a presence in all the states capital of the Federation at present. So now we want to also deepen our canopy in those cities. You know, we went into these places chasing enterprises. So now that we are actually looking at covering the SME markets, so we need to make sure we have increased presence at many of these cities, and we are actually hoping to energize multiple cities at the same time for 2018. Thereby, the NCC vision for 2020, that will ensure that we are keying into it. We've also been keying into it all the while, in the sense that we are making investments in this same space, in the broadband communication space. In the last, I would say in the last 4 years, we've made multiple $1 million investment in trying to actually acquire spectrum, in trying to acquire equipment in the space, and we've spent far more than $40 million in that space of time.
According to Professor Umar Garba Dambata, he made mention in ITU last year that the FDI of Nigeria ICT sector has hit $70 billion. Would you say this is good for us? And according to him, he said most of these investments are foreign. What are your thoughts on this?
Having foreign direct investment is about saying that the world has confidence in doing business with Nigeria. So, and of course, because of the gap that we have both in infrastructure and because we are actually a developing country, there could be a better return. I mean, the return that comes from this shore is actually is going to be more, or is more than what will come out from the markets of more developed nations. So since you said the EVC, Professor Dambata said 70 billion actually came in, I'm sure there is not enough for, I mean, yes, we're happy to hear that, I'm happy to hear that, but I'm even saying once that comes up, the reward of capital, because when you talk about investment and you are talking about money, you are talking about capital. The reward of capital is actually profit, and because of that, I'm sure it's going to be put to more profitable use, and that will benefit the Nigerian populace.
From satellite to fiber optic, what is the prediction? What is the next prediction for broadband?
Yes, you said satellite to fiber optics. There is still something in the middle. There is the wireless. Okay, so VDT mainly, and this is what I tell my staff. I say we are more of a wireless communication company. Okay, so these different technologies, those are the technologies. So these different technologies have their uses, they have their advantages. So when you are looking at speed, given the same condition, you will need to look at it and say, okay, which one is likely to give me the most speed at less cost? Because none of these variable is just by itself. So you need to also look at cost and time. So now, if you are looking at speed, is something that is most commonly used in broadband world, because people talk about the technical word Mbps. That Mbps is about the speed. Now you need to look at how much does it cost to take it to the last man.
2018 is here, and the 30% broadband penetration target is also here. Would you say this has been achieved?
Without missing word, the 30% broadband penetration had not been achieved, and even the NCC also said it. I was at a meeting one time, but it's still the same thing that I said. We've had 2 years of near disruption in the economic landscape of the country. So there is no way many of those targets will be met as projected. However, I'm sure this year, like I mentioned, once we have this stability, we are going to actually be able to make some quantum leap. But now, at the moment, we have not achieved the 30%.
Wow, such great insight and beautiful predictions from you. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you very much, madam.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. I appreciate it.